Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. So today we are going to discuss about TISSNET. Okay, so I'll discuss that what is the importance of this examination, how is the examination structure, and many of the aspirants who write for the examination, what are the things that you need to do in order to crack this examination. Okay, so most of the MBA entrance examinations, especially the big ones, which are CAT, XAT, and IFT, are done. Okay, and Snap is still running, and NMAT, like they have reopened the window. Okay, so many of the examinations are done for the season. Now it is like we are towards the mid of the season, right? Wherein you have some more exams to go. Okay, and among the remaining examinations, you have CMAT, you have Maharashtra CET, right? You have TISSNET, okay, and one slot of Snap and some of NMAT. Among the upcoming examinations, the best shot that you can go for is TISSNET. Okay, so let's discuss what is TISSNET and why it is important. Who should write TISSNET? Okay, so many think that TISSNET is an MBA entrance examination. No, TISSNET does not offer MBA degree. Right? It is Tata Institute of Social Sciences. It offers MA degree. Okay, Master of Arts. However, they have MA degree in HRM, which is almost equivalent to MBA. Like you get good jobs. Right? What do you mean by MBA is you get good jobs, good paying jobs in well-established firms, isn't it? That's what people generally mean. Because even IIMs don't give you an MBA, right? They give you PGDM. All right. So and that's what TISSNET is all about. So we'll discuss that. What is the exam structure? How do you excel in the examination? What are the do's and don'ts? And how you should prepare for the examination. Okay. All right. So let's begin the session. So if you wish to pursue a career in HR management, okay, so many people talk about like HR. Like people think that ki HR just has one role to hire people, right? Sometimes people often crack jokes on HRs, right? They think that okay, HRs are just meant for like doing that rangoli stuff and all that. That's jokes apart. And HR has a lot of functions in the organization, right? So not only they just recruit people, they have talent management, right? They have to carry on the appraisal cycle. They develop company policies, right? Different policies, right? Motivational stuff. Okay, and of course, organizing different events, right? Be it motivational events, be it cultural events, right? It could be fun event. At the same time, it could be some learning event, right? There is something called learning department also, right, in some of the developed organizations wherein you learn different skill sets, right? So those are all tasks of HR. Okay, some people think that okay, HR is just for I mean recruiting people. There are several other things, appraisal, okay, and maintaining relationships, and in hiring also different kind of hiring, right, and creating policies, different sort of policies, right? There could be policies related to prevention of sexual harassment at the company, right? So different like if there is some if there has to be some change in the structure of the organization, right? Like if suppose they want to insert a new level of hierarchy, so all those decisions are taken up by the HR management, right? So it has a lot of roles, right? Don't think that HR is just for recruiting people, last round ka interview le lena, that's all. No, there are many things that the HRs do. Now, if you want to pursue career in human resource management, okay, what are the best options that you have? What is the best institute that comes to your mind? Obviously, you will say ki XLRI. Okay, XLRI Jamshedpur, you will say. Okay. Now, when it comes to other top institutes, right? Let me tell you that you should know that the top institutes, right? Then comes Tata Institute of Social Sciences. Okay, advantage, right? Pure social. I mean, it is pure MA in HR management. Okay, again, location Mumbai. So another advantage that you get access to a lot of corporates. Okay, then you have TIS, and then you have MDI. MDI is another great institute. Okay, then you can call IIM Ranchi. Okay, and then you can say that NMIMS is also good for HR. Okay, so these are some of the top institutes I would say when it talks about HRM, right? So this is definitely number one. TISS I would rate better than MDI because TISS again the thing is fee structure, right? Brand name, better brand than MDI. Okay, so that is the second best, and even some people even compare with the Excel. Okay, because Excel, most of the people who get the top cream that goes to the business management side, right? Although the HR program is great, but the top that I mean the cutoff for business management is higher, right? So yes, TISS is one of the best institutes. Okay. So in case you have started your preparation for GD-VAT for these B schools, you can enroll with our program. So let's talk about TISSNET, right? How is TISSNET? It is conducted by Tata Institute of Social Sciences, right? So Tata's have given us several things in form of education also. They have Tata Institute of Fundamental Research for in the science side, and in the social science side they have Tata Institute of Social Sciences, a very old institute located in Mumbai. Okay, it has other campuses as well, like the best of course is Mumbai. Then you have Tuljapur, Hyderabad, Guwahati. Okay, it has admissions to Master of Arts, Master of Sciences, B.Ed, M.Ed integrated programs of test, right? So it is not MBA. As I said that TISSNET, some people think that TISSNET is MBA or the TISS MBA or that. No, there is no MBA. It is Master of Arts. Okay, so they have MA in different streams, right? So what people prefer is like MA in HRM, Human Resource Management, and then there is ODCL, right? That is Organizational Development and Change Leadership, right? Some people ask that what are the best programs. Okay, so if you are like MBA focused guys, so of course that is the first preferred. Second preferred, then you have social entrepreneurship. Okay, and then there are other programs as well, right? A lot of MA programs, you can browse through the programs list, right? It could be on women, like MA in some related to women issues, right? It could be related to criminology, right? They are MA programs related to some other like different aspects. Okay, so like people generally opt for the top, the most preferred program is HRM. Of course, people who want to get into HR management would prefer it, followed by ODCL, and then some people prefer social entrepreneurship as well. Okay, so yeah, SCMHRD is also one of the top colleges. Yes, I forgot to mention its name. Right, so I'll write it is also right SCMHRD also. And so I just named a few, right? So like SCMHRD, NMIMS, you can, or rather, I would say SCMHRD would be greater than NMIMS. Then would be uh, NM would be the sixth one, right? So these are some top institutes for HR management. Okay, now in TISSNET you have this exam structure is like that, right? So first you have the TISSNET. Okay, it is followed by TISSMAT. Although they inducted this in 2020, it has happened only once. Last year TISSMAT did not happen, right? TISSMAT or TISSPAT did not happen, right? If someone tells you, because people do not write exams, so they do not, I mean, they just read from somewhere. Last year it did not happen because of COVID. Last year they directly had interviews instead of TISSMAT. Okay, in 2020 it happened. Let's say what happens in this year, right? So it is followed by TISSMAT or TISSPAT, right? So if you are going for HRM and ODCL, right, Organizational Development and Change Leadership, so that is DAS will have TISSPAT, and other programs will have TISSPAT. So it is sort of like it is basically like TISSMAT is again sort of aptitude test, data interpretation, quantitative, like some business awareness, right? So I'll talk about TISSMAT also. TISSMAT structure is like they ask you RCs. Okay. And then you have data interpretation, 3 sections, 15 questions, 15 questions on RCs, 15 on DI, and 15 on business awareness. Okay, that is the structure of TISSNET. Okay, now what happened last year was they did not conduct it. Last to last year it was conducted. Last year they said that who qualified TISS, only those will be allowed to write this, right? So no one, all won't be appearing for this. So I think this year also they will follow this structure that if you clear TISS, then only you will appear for TISSNET and interviews. Okay. All right. So at the time of graduation, yes. Placement, yes, placement is based on your graduation marks also, right? There are some companies that do that. Okay. So TISSNET, if we talk about, so it is for final conversion, it is 30, 20, and 50. I'll have to check that what is the final weight. Okay, but like you have last year it was 50-50, right? 50% of TISSNET and 50% of interviews. Okay, this year we'll have to see that if they include TISSNET also, what will be the structure. So eligibility criteria is you can be graduate in any stream. There is no limit on the number of attempts and all. Okay, and then you can apply to maximum 3 programs. There are several MBA programs, MA programs, so you can apply to maximum 3 of them. Okay, so wish you to apply to any of the programs, multiple programs, you can apply to 3. And notification was released in December. You have application till 7th of February, so you have 1 more month to go, almost a month. Okay, so then they have the application fee is 1030, 510 for reserved category. Admit card release will be from 14th of February till 21st of February. They have mentioned the date, right? So make sure that you download the admit card before 21st. Okay. And then 26th of February, you have the test date, and result will be announced somewhere in March, right? So 26th February is the day. You have 1.5 months to appear for the examination. Okay. All right, so let's see this. The structure of the examination. So it has 100 questions to be done in 100 minutes. There is no sectional timing, right? There is no negative marking. Okay. 30 questions in English proficiency, mathematics and logical reasoning 30, and general awareness 40 questions. So a total of 100 questions, right? Now the general awareness section comes with a cutoff of 14 marks. Okay. So 14 marks is your sectional cutoff for GK, and for some other categories it is 12, right? So this is for general category. For some categories it is 12 also, reserved categories. But the actual, like if you want to convert it, right, you need to have very high score in GA. For example, last year the cutoff was 68. Earlier it used to be close to 75, right? TISSNET cutoff has been close to 75. Now if you get only 14, right, you think that okay, I just clear the cutoff. Others, even if you score 60, right, it will be very difficult to score 60, right? So you would have to get at least 20 marks here to clear the cutoff in that scenario. Okay, there was once a time when TISSNET cutoff was even 82, right? There was once a very high cutoff, right? So generally the TISSNET cutoff has been somewhere around 73, 75. Last year it was 68 because these 2 sections were difficult last year. Okay, earlier it used to be like cakewalk, like English, mathematics. Most of the people will score very heavily in these 2 sections. Then the key thing here is general awareness. So we'll talk about that. What are the things that you need to prepare in general awareness? What are the type of questions asked? Okay, and how you can prepare for the for it. Okay. So this was the exam structure. Like if you go section by section. Okay, so so like if you talk about the English proficiency test, there were 2 reading comprehensions, right? One was like simple one which everyone could read and understand, rise of OTT. Now that was some sort of history based, right? Coffee shops as a medium of enlightenment during the Renaissance period. Okay, so if you know what is that period, so it was a good passage. Then you have other things: error spotting, synonym, antonym, fill in the blanks, jumbled up sentences, verbal reasoning. So it is a complete test, right? It is a test of your reading comprehension. It is a test of your grammar, vocab, everything is tested. So you have three things, right? RC, grammar, vocab. So everything is tested in TISSNET. Okay. Mathematics and logical reasoning, again heavily dominated by arithmetic. 14 questions out of 30 on arithmetic. Okay, so it's a big number. Okay, big chunk. And every year if you see around like 10 to 12 the minimum are from arithmetic. So if you if you are not mathematics student, if you have not appeared for other MBA entrance examinations, please cover arithmetic at least. Okay, the level of questions is not at all difficult. As I said, that people score heavily in the examination. Okay, so arithmetic you need to do well. Some questions are number system, geometry, mensuration, algebra, permutation, combination, probability. Few questions mostly dominated by arithmetic. Then some DI questions as well, right? Last year there were 2 DI sets, 7 questions, 3 on pie chart, 4 on table. Okay, so basic calculation based DI, not so very you won't get like DI like CAT, right? Simple DI calculation करनी होती है, percentage increase बताओ, right? Angle निकालो pie chart में. So those kind of questions are asked, right? So this is again easy. And people should not fear कि यार टिस्नेट में मेरी मैथ्स कैसे होगी, राइट? कैट में नहीं हुई तो टिस्नेट में कैसे होगी? टिस्नेट इज don't worry, TISSNET mathematics is easy, right? So I've seen people with average mathematics doing great in the examination. Okay, now the game changer here is general awareness, right? So there are 40 questions and mostly static, right? Current affairs like around 12 to 15 maximum questions on current affairs. Now the topics covered are history, geography, science and tech, economy, sports, art, culture, awards, polity, environment, current affairs. So all these things are covered in the examination. Okay, so we'll discuss that what are the things that you need to focus on and what static things. So let me tell you that TISSNET is not only for one program. Okay, people think here only like most of you must be writing for HR management, so you must be thinking that this is meant only for HR. There are several MA programs. If you go to TISSNET site, there are programs in criminology, right? That will be women empowerment, social entrepreneurship, right, related to child rights, okay, and whatnot, right? So there is a long list. Okay, now in that list there are people preparing for different streams. Okay, so there might be some people who are going into pure art form. Okay, that's why you get questions from movies as well. Last year there were 2 questions from movies. One was which was the entry for India in Oscars this year, and another question was what is the original language of what was that movie? Drishyam. Okay, last year Drishyam 2 was released that time. So they had asked about Drishyam, that in which language was the movie made. So you can expect questions from movies as well. Okay. So this is the cutoff for the HRM section, right? Last year it was 68. Generally it used to be like, as I said, that in the 70s, close to 70. Prior to it, it was 73. Sometime it has been 75, right? Once it went to 82 as well, right? So generally this was the range, but last year it was a bit low because English and quant were slightly difficult, right? So this was for general, OBC 63, SC ST 54. Okay, ODCL the cutoff was 63. Okay, I don't know category wise, but general category it was 63. Other programs, for some programs the cutoff might have been 50s and all, right? Other programs generally the cutoff is quite low, like 50, 45. Okay, some programs even have at 45, right? Some programs at 50, 52, 55, right? Since this is the most sought after program, and who are the people writing it? The ones who aspire to do an MBA. Okay, MBA करने वाले लिखते हैं, so obviously they are the ones who have written CAT and other MBA entrance examinations. Their English is superior, Okay, their quantitative aptitude is good, right? They have prepared GK for other exams also, right? So they are the ones who write for HR, and hence the cutoff is high. Okay. All right, so now let's discuss what are the features of the examination, right? So how it is different. So first of all, it is relatively easy examination. And when you talk about examinations like CAT, you talk about ZAT, right? You must be feeling these are difficult examinations, right? But TISSNET is relatively easy, okay? And there is no negative marking. So there is no negative marking. What does that mean? That means that you should attempt all questions, ठीक है, without saying जहां भी negative marking नहीं होती है, you should try to attempt all questions, okay, because you have nothing to lose. Okay, randomly mark करके भी आओगे, ठीक है. Suppose you knew like 50-55 questions, right? Rest of all you mark randomly, maybe your luck is there, you knew 55 correct attempts, और बाकी 45 में से let us say you get 15 correct. Like if you are lucky on that day, you might get 70 marks and then you might clear the cutoff, right? So attempt all the questions, make sure that you attempt all the questions. Okay, there is no sectional timing. Okay, so that gives you an advantage. Now sectional timing is mein zarurat nahi rehti. I mean, it's an examination that you can do easily, because see 40 questions in GK. Okay, how much time will it take to attempt 40 questions? You will take maximum 15 minutes. Okay, then you have 30 minutes in 30 in VA. ठीक है, अगर नॉर्मल पेस से भी करोगे 30 to 35 minutes में हो जाएगा भी, राइट? इट डज नॉट हैव लेंथी आरसीज और समथिंग. 2 RC आते हैं, बाकी vocab based synonyms like grammar that you know or you do not know. Okay, so still you have 30 quant questions, you will have enough time, right? So you have 50 to 55 minutes, easily हो जाएंगे 30 questions. Okay, and the level of questions is not as difficult as CAT, right? The level of questions is easy, you can easily complete the paper. Okay, so don't worry कि यार TISSNET में बहुत वो लगता है, right? So skip the questions that you find tricky. ठीक है, स्टार्टिंग में जो क्वेश्चन में टाइम लग रहा है, skip those questions, complete GK full, right? Complete verbal, then try to do quant, because quant will take time. Or if your quant is good, then I would say that yes, do quant questions, but make sure that you try to attempt all the questions. Okay, so 1 or 2 questions, maybe like 2-3 questions you might find time consuming, skip those questions, right? Do the rest of the paper. Okay, and then when time permits, just mark those questions randomly or whatever you want, right? Now, challenging general awareness. Okay, it is mostly static in nature. Okay, around 25 plus are static questions, 25 to 30 questions will be static. Okay, and we'll discuss that what are the themes that they ask from, and there is sectional cutoff also. Okay, so as I said that GA is the key, please make sure that you prepare well for this section. So the cutoff is as follows, right? For general, EWS, KM is Kashmiri migrant, and AFS people, wards of armed forces, the people who are in armed forces, the cutoff is 14, right? For PWD and OBC, the cutoff is 12. SC and ST, they have no cutoff applied for GA section. Okay, but if you are from general, EWS, PWD, OBC, all these categories, you have to keep in mind that you have to clear the cutoff also. But as I said that for general, I mean, it is like even if you clear the cutoff, you have to score very high, and even if you score full, you may not be able to clear the overall cutoff, right? So those things you need to keep in mind. Now, one good advantage in TISSNET is they do not look at other things, right? Academics kaisa tha, work experience and all. So that is one advantage. Okay, some people think yaar mere academics अच्छे नहीं थे, right? Will TISSNET accept me? Yes, they accept you. Okay, so you have bad acads, gap year, everything, you can get into TISS. Okay, so don't worry about that. So it is not like IIMs or some other institutes that accept it, right? You have to have a good TISS score and do well in the interviews and all. Okay, so this was my scorecard last year. See, I scored 67, missed the cutoff by 1 mark, right? Cutoff was 68. Okay, I missed by 1 mark. I got 420 in GK, right? So 20 is not a good score in GK. Okay, you have to have very good score, right? So I like out of people generally, those who crack, they get 30 plus out of 40. Okay, so you have to target 30 plus. Okay, I got 40, like 47 out of 60 in QA plus VA. Yeah, must have done most, like QA, like apart from 2 3 questions, I must have done almost others correct. Okay, or maybe since they do not release section wise, but yes, must have done 25 plus in QA for sure, right? Maybe 26 27 and rest in VA, and only 20 in GK. So you need to have, right, you need to score very well in the GK section, right? So if you have to clear the cutoff, right, you should target 30 plus. Okay, 40 out of 40 तो आते नहीं, 35 भी it is like very rare that you will get, but you can get 30. ठीक है, 30 आ सकते हैं, right? Beyond 35 it is very difficult to get because very random questions might be put up, right? For example, last year there was question on one of the monuments that was assertion reason based question. So if you know that about that monument, right, who built it and why did he build it, right? So if you know that thing, you might have been done, you might have done good, I mean solved that, right? Or else you would have just uh, done some guesswork and all, right? Okay, so how to prepare for topics and what are the topics that are asked? So current affairs, international and national affairs. Okay, so like BRICS summit kahan ho gaya, theek hai? Like yesterday, like we were discussing questions of IFT, like Shanghai Corporation, which country was newly added? ठीक है, then business and economy related things. Okay, some merger acquisition. Okay, those news, sports related things, some achievements. Okay, they might ask about Olympics, some other sports, recent sports, awards, right? What are the different awards, winners of different awards, Nobel Prize, right? Read about Oscars and all. As I said that it is about an arts institute. Okay, so they might ask questions related to that. They ask questions related to movies. Okay, then obituaries, if some famous personality passed away. Okay, so what would what field did they belong to, etc etc, right? Recent appointments. Okay, it could be corporate appointment, it could be government appointment. Okay, then science and tech. Okay, so and that related to science, like some space missions of NASA, some missions of ISRO, and all those kind of questions. Okay, now if you talk about the static part, right, history, it could be modern, it could be ancient, it could be medieval. ओके, एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ हिस्ट्री, राइट? वो पूछ सकते हैं कि लाइक ये अकबर ने ये मॉन्यूमेंट कहाँ बनवाया था, राइट? ऑल दो सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग्स, राइट? हु वाज दिस पर्सन इन दिस पर्सन्स rule. Okay, some let's say Akbar के नौ रत्नों से पूछ लिया, or any sort of stuff, right? So difficult thing to master. Okay, geography, ठीक है, lakes, rivers, straits, okay, islands, ठीक है, countries, capitals, right? Capitals of countries. Okay, like they might ask you that like and geography also, like ये कहाँ पे northern most country out of these, right? All those things, economy related stuff, ठीक है, brands. Okay, now another important thing which I have not mentioned here is government schemes. Very important. You get multiple questions related to government schemes in TISSNET. Okay, every year. Okay, so government schemes, they might ask about, let's say last year they asked about uh, Ujala scheme. Okay, what is Ujala scheme? So they might ask you the full forms. They might ask you when was it, when did it start, which ministry started it. Okay, so all those things. Then you get questions related to brands and companies, right? Who is the brand ambassador of this? What is the product launched? If I'm not wrong, last year they asked about some campaign, right? They asked about some campaign. Who was the brand ambassador of that campaign? Okay, then related to Indian polity. Okay, so like recent appointments in politics, right? Ministers of different departments, science and technology related thing, right? Basic science. Okay, basic science related things. Okay, how many months of current affairs? Current affairs, I would say that current affairs 6 months, right? Six months, but sometimes they might ask you questions from 1 or 2 years back, right? Last year they asked one question कि कुछ तो पूछा था एक किसी का, there was one monument, right, which started in 2018, right? They had asked about that, right? So mostly 6 months. If you do cover 6 months, that is good enough to cover that. Okay. HRM and ODCL. HRM you have 68 seats and ODCL you have 34. How many people generally appear for this? I'm not sure of the number, but somewhere close to 20-25K people must be writing this examination. Okay. Indian history, yes, they ask Indian history only. Okay, they will ask Indian history only. Okay, but it could be anything, right? They might ask like you must have seen some questions in IFT also, right? Like कि ये ancient books के authors कौन थे, right? Who was the ruler when so and so traveler came to India, right? Who was the ruler of this kingdom? Who started so and so kingdom in south or kind of things? Okay. Then you have sports related things. Sport related thing that they ask you the terminologies. Okay, they might ask you ki like which is in which sport do you use this word. Okay, so that is apart from that, then books and authors. ठीक है, books and authors तो obviously बात है कि आता ही आता है. Now that could be current also, right? Some recent books and authors might also be asked. Important days. ठीक है, they might ask you about different days की तो एक बार list बना लो, एक बार याद कर सकते हो. ठीक है, like for example today is this what do we call प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस. Okay, uh, this NRI day. Okay. Which months? Okay, 6 months, like from let's say July, August, maybe from July, August to Feb. ठीक है, because Feb end में होगा तो Feb की beginning तक कर लेना, right? So generally July, August to Feb, that should suffice most of the questions. Okay. Then you have art and culture, right? Art and culture, that means कि they might ask you about some paintings of some states. ठीक है, they might ask you about some anything related to culture, right? Dance forms. ठीक है, and then as I said movies also they ask questions from. ठीक है, so ऐसा नहीं कि कुछ मतलब they might ask you about the directors of some movies, some famous movies, okay, or some personalities related to that. Then places like national parks, airports, etc. Where do these things? Where are these things? Right. So basically, this is the broad idea. This gives you a broad idea. What are the different topics that you can focus on? Right. Now these things like एक important days तो आप एक साथ एक list बना लो. You can remember those. Right. Sports terms and all. ठीक है, famous sports persons, make a list and do this. Art and culture, you can say that different dance forms, different languages. ठीक है, national parks की एक list बना लो कि कौन कौन से national park हैं. You can just, these are something that you have to mug up, right? Airports, ठीक है, there could be asking about seaports. Okay, so those things, I mean, try like focus on every of the topics, right? एक दिन चलो ठीक है, आपने कहा कि 3 दिन history पढ़ लेंगे, ठीक है, brush up those skills and these things. I mean, just create a list and then just go through them. Okay, so this is required without. I mean, you have to have. Uh, you have to prepare all these things and you have to target 30 plus in the GK section. ठीक है, इतना target रखना कि 30 तक बन जाने चाहिए, right? So practice. So of course I have given you the topics which you need to prepare from. ठीक है, go through some past papers. ठीक है, past papers. I do not mean like TISSNET के तो papers मिलेंगे नहीं. Maybe you might get some past questions, right? But I would say कि papers कौन कौन से देखने चाहिए, right? One good thing that you can go through is like जैसे अभी जो recent exams हुए, right? Like ZAT में क्या आया था, right? IFT में क्या आया था, then last year ZAT में क्या आया था. So go through those kind of MBA exam papers. Apart from that, like the different examinations that are held, right? It is not only just ऐसा नहीं कि MBA में exam होते हैं, right? There are government examinations. ठीक है, there are defense based examinations, CDS का पेपर होता है, NDA का पेपर होता है, ठीक है, और सबके एग्जाम के पेपर्स ऑनलाइन मिल जाते हैं, राइट. सो इफ यू पुट एफर्ट्स, राइट, गो थ्रू दोज पेपर्स so that you understand, right. If you go through tens of different examinations, right, you will get to understand कि current affairs में क्या चल रहा है, right. Even if you do not read, you just go through those papers, right. Recent papers, right, SSC के पेपर में क्या आया, ठीक है, UPSC के पेपर में क्या है. So if you go through all these things, right, most of the current affairs you will see कि अरे यार मैंने तो ये 10 पेपर देखे थे, इनमें से questions as it is आ गए, right. And of course you have to prepare on your own as well, right. You have to read these things also. Okay, freshers are allowed, yes, freshers are allowed, and you can like if even if you pass by 31st of October 2022, if you get 31 October 2022, if you get that your degree, ठीक है, मतलब जो भी mark sheet and all, you will be able to appear in the examination as long as your result is available by this date. Okay. So if you go past your papers, that's fine, right? As I said that, see, there are some books also, right? So there are some objective like general awareness books, okay, like books by any good publication, right? Disha publication, Aryan publication, Lucent, right? So or any of those general awareness books you can refer to, okay, because general awareness is like nothing good or bad, but these books are taken up by like several aspirants. And then Pratyogita Darpan, right, all those kind of books that are monthly magazines for current affairs. For current affairs, like I would say that these examining books like Pratyogita Darpan, which are monthly years. And then you have Manorma yearbook. Like if you go through Manorma yearbook, right, uh, that will give you a lot of current, uske saath saath static thing bhi, right. Then you have books like India 2020, like those kind of yearly books also, okay. India 2021, I don't know who is the publisher of this, right. So those kind of books wherein like they have the entire thing covered, right. So there you have all these things topic wise, right. They will talk about politics, they will talk about science and tech, so you are aware of all the things, right. Last year Olympics, मतलब sports कौन से हुए, किसमें क्या हुआ, right. What were the important government, what happened in Indian polity, what happened in geography, right. If something related to that, so they will these Manorma yearbook books like these, they cover everything, each of these things in detail, right. So those things you can go through. Then you have like PDFs available online which give you monthly PDFs, and also current affairs can be covered that way. Static, as I said that go through these objective books which have objective questions of past years, etc. That should suffice, right. So go through papers, right. That is the best source for static. Not only like TISSNET, up TISSNET को तो कितने पेपर होंगे, but most like different examinations, ठीक है, MBA examinations, ठीक है, ZAT के पेपर, IFT के पेपर, ठीक है, या कोई और एग्जाम के पेपर. So and find those relevant questions and then read about relevant things also, okay. So that is how you can have preparation for this. Apart from that, we will be doing a Menti quiz also. Okay, on our channel we will be doing the Menti quiz also. So I hope you like those Menti quizzes. We have had some couple of Menti quizzes in the past. So we'll have Menti quiz also weekly once or weekly twice on our YouTube channel. So please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, so this was all about the ज्ञान about TISSNET, ठीक है. So as I said कि quant और English हो जाएगा, right. Start preparing for GK, ठीक है. खूब time लगाओ GK में, like maybe spend 3-4 hours a day, ठीक है. I have given you the list of topics, I have given you sources. There is no dearth of sources, ठीक है, कोई ऐसी कमी नहीं है. ऑनलाइन भी मिल जाएगा, ऑफलाइन भी मिल जाएगा. You will get books, right. You can get subscription of those monthly magazine प्रतियोगिता दर्पण for past 6 months. Okay, you can purchase Manorma yearbook, the recent edition. Read all that, right. You will develop a huge knowledge bank. Okay, apart from that, like if you want to study online, there are several places where you get monthly current affairs PDF and all those stuff. Okay, static, as I told you, go through past paper. So there is no dearth, right. ऐसा नहीं कि कहीं पे खत्म हो जाएगा मटेरियल, आज मैं क्या करूँ, right. So don't worry about that. You have a lot of stuff to go through. So go through that, okay, and focus on general awareness in these 1.5 months. Try to build your GA skills to as much as possible, right? So that you should be able to get at least 25 plus in the GA section, right? And maybe if you get, let's say, 30 out of 40, then it becomes कि यार 60 में से 40 आएगा तो 70 cut off पे you will be able to clear that. Okay, so those are the things that you can focus on. So I hope you found this session useful. So don't forget to like the session before you leave it. Okay, and we have this program for CAT PIVAT, and you can enroll in the same if you've got calls from B schools. Okay, and if you know someone who are preparing for CAT 2022, you can recommend them for our courses, and they may enroll with us. These are our mentors at BYJU'S Exam Prep. I'm sure that you must have attended their classes and seen them taking sessions. All right, so these are our different channels on which you can connect with us, right? Or follow us on like Instagram. You all already subscribe to our YouTube channel, right, where we have a lot of content, and you can join our Telegram channel as well. And on this Telegram channel, we have recently started an initiative of interacting with students. So the teachers come live over there, take student queries, and help the aspirants with their doubts. Okay. All right, so that's about TISSNET. I hope you got enough information, right? Now it's time that you start the preparation. If you are serious about it, it's the time that you focus for the next 1.5 months. Give your best shot, right? Maybe you could not clear any of the examinations, but that could be one of the great institutes in the country that you can get into, right? Good advantage, right? Brand name, firstly brand, Tata ka brand, okay, and then you have Mumbai. Okay, then you have low fees, right? People prefer this institute, and of course, great learning experience at the institute. Okay. All right, so that's for this session. Thanks for watching the video. Have a great day ahead. Goodbye.